Coming to you from Forager Brewery in Rochester, our town.
Welcome to Our Town, the show about Rochester. I'm Jen Koski. So we have been driving around the construction barriers for what seems like forever. The Mayo Civic Center is getting a serious facelift. Here to tell us how it's going is Executive Director Donna Drews. So welcome, Donna. Thank you so much for coming down to Forager and talking to us.
Very happy to be here.
So we have been driving around the construction barriers for what seems like forever. I actually also work downtown and have been by them a time or two, but it's all for a greater purpose. Tell me what is happening in the Civic Center?
Well, about a year and a half ago, we broke ground for the Mayo Civic Center's Convention Center expansion. It's 188,000 square feet.
It's huge.
And it consists of a 40,000-foot grand ballroom with 32-foot ceilings, beautiful lobbies that overlook downtown and the river. And then, of course, one of our unique features is the wave wall. That runs on the south side of the building, parallel to the river, and we'll have a great patio that overlooks that area too.
Okay, so what is a wave wall? I'm picturing water, but no?
No, it's not. And fortunately, there will be no water features.
Yeah.
But that is one of those unique phrases that architects love to give their designs. They kind of coin a little phrase, and because the wall does this sort of thing, it embraces the river and enhances the environment. It creates this warm, welcoming environment for people, both indoors and outdoors.
Okay, and so this is a separate addition. This is
Correct.
this is all new, but there is also maybe some improvements being made to existing rooms?
That's correct.
Okay.
The auditorium and arena both received quite a lot of renovations in the last 2 years. The arena that we put on a new roof, that in itself was a major, major project. It's a huge roof. But they also were fully painted and cleaned up. New sound systems are going in now as we speak. So that portion is nearly complete. And then also Presentation Hall, which is one of our smaller performing centers.
Yep, I've been in plenty of performances there.
Smaller concerts, smaller events, comedians, speakers, and so on.
Right. David Sedaris.
Yes, yes. It seats about 1,100 people, and that facility will be completely gutted and refurbished.
Wow.
We're taking out the ceiling to add volume. The acousticians tell us, use all of this jargon that I'm not really familiar with, but apparently we had this flutter in the background, and that's going to help the acoustics immensely and embrace music rather than flatten it.
Okay, so what is the timeline for all this? When most importantly, for those of us driving downtown, when will the construction on the streets be done?
Yes, the barricades, the Jersey barriers that line the street will be off of Civic Center Drive by the first of the year, hopefully before the snow flies. The convention center will be substantially complete in December, and then the first event occurs after April 1st in 17.
Okay, and so when that first event occurs in April, everything's done? Not quite.
No, the presentation hall, we still have the finishing work to do in there, and the entire project will be finished in August of 2017.
Okay, and will there be some kind of grand invitation coming out to all of us? Okay.
Absolutely. There'll be a public grand opening. We hope to be able to bring the public in so they can see their new building. It's for them.
Okay, that's great. And do we know what the first, any new events, the first ones coming into the new building?
They're conventions.
Okay, so bringing in other business, which is the whole point of this, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so tell me about this.
The part of the project, money was included in our budget for public art.
Okay.
And this is very much a contemporary subject right now because these are the very things that bring the public together and create conversation. And the artist that was commissioned to create this artwork, this is a small model, his name is Po Shu Wang. He's from California.
Okay.
And he has a tremendous reputation for creating unique art that becomes sort of landmark areas within a community. He coined this artwork Wishing Well, and part of it is it embraces the river. This will be placed right at the corner of 2nd Street and Civic Center Drive.
Okay.
So it'll be the welcoming focal point for the new plaza that'll be in that area.
And it's a permanent
It
installation?
is permanent.
Okay. And how big is it going to be? I know this is a small model.
Right.
Can you walk under it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be about 15 to 16 feet high. You can walk underneath it. And the circles that are shown there are actually 30 feet. So that'll give you an idea of the size of and the scope of the overall
Right. It'll be
piece.
impressive.
It will be.
All right,
Very.
well, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Our Town is brought to you in part by the following amazing people and organizations.
Clements Subaru proudly partners with award-winning KSMQ Public Television. Clements Subaru of Rochester. Clements' clear value promise is to make buying a car fast, fair, and simple. The University of Minnesota Rochester, an undergraduate health sciences university offering education designed to change tomorrow's healthcare. University of Minnesota Rochester, always in the heart of our community. Prow Company, a hands-on commercial property leasing company, leasing commercial properties in Rochester, Minnesota since 1952. Realtors and brokers welcome. Prow Company. The Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.
And the members of KSMQ Public Television. Thank you.
Hi there. I can't wait to see the finished work at the Civic Center. Great new facility in progress. Later in the show, we head out to Soldiers Field to learn more about the Veterans Memorial. We find out why the Van Deusen family was important to the development of Rochester. And we find out what's going on with the Rochester Airport. Up next, Our Town Culture spends a little time on the water with SkiDox.
SkiDox is a show water skiing team, and we're located just outside of Rochester, Minnesota. We're on Lake Zumbro in Olmsted County. It's north about 20 minutes. We're in the southeastern corner of the state, and this is actually our only lake in the county, so we ski on it a lot. SkiDox comes from someone's brainchild of the medical city, and doctors used to be on the team, and so they kind of combined the name with medical facility in Rochester, SkiDox, doctors, and coming off the dock. Maybe more than one dock, so SkiDox. I've been a member for close to 38 years. I keep coming back because I love the water, I love the exercise, I love the team. I want to see it keep going, and now my daughter is skiing, and I'm hoping someday my son will ski, so I keep coming back. Most people think we hibernate in Minnesota in the winter, but we don't. We snow ski and snowmobile, but in the summer, we do like to be outside as well, so we water ski and fish, and being on the lake and in a boat is one of the best things you can do, and being with a team that you love is even better. Our show is really very popular. It changes every year or every 2 years, and so a lot of times we'll have people that have not seen the show ever, and they come out and they're absolutely blown away by some of the feats and the skills that we have out here. The team has approximately 40 skiers and a lot of support and parents and other people. We've been on the lake for over 50 years, close to 60. It started as shows 1 or 2 times a year, and now we do weekly shows, and we also do a lot of road shows. And so we are a show team, and we do go to tournaments, so we put our best show against other people's best show and try to do the best we can. Tonight you'll see some barefooting, jumping, pyramids, ballet, our #1 ballet, trios, a lot of team participation acts, and then some really cool guy stuff like barefooting and jumping. And we cap it off with a theme, and our theme this year is Ameriski's Got Talent. But we hope to keep skiing for many years. We want to ski here. It would be great to ski in Rochester more often. Maybe we'd get a little better crowd, a little more team members. But right now, this is what we're going to keep doing as long as we can do it. We ski every Wednesday night out at Fisherman's Inn here at Lake Zumbro. And then on Labor Day, we'll have a 1 p.m. show to cap off our season. If anyone would like to come down and water ski with us or just join the team and be part of the action, you're more than welcome to come on down. Any show site we are at, come down and talk to one of the skiers and we can get you going. You don't need to ski at all. We'll teach you everything you need to do, and we do have learn to ski programs as well for not only able-bodied but other-bodied people as well. So we have a disabled program. People can, even in a wheelchair, can learn to ski. And you don't have to swim or anything. You can just come on down or sign up for a Learn to Ski, and we'll teach you everything.
Our Town. It's all about you, Rochester. Send us your best ideas for the show. Rochester@ksmq.org.
They're calling at me, don't go nowhere. I'm looking at you from across the room. You with your shades on, the sun, the moon. You hold a secret in your hands. Your eyes are burning.
Hi there. For those of you who have been following the progress of the Conley Mass Building, take a drive by there this Monday, August 15th. Collider Core is opening its doors. Collider Core is a hub for entrepreneurs to work, connect, and learn. Located in the historic Conley Mass Building in Rochester's Discovery Square district, Collider Core offers space for everything from a solo entrepreneur all the way up to small teams. Looking for something fun to do on the weekends? You can check out movies in the park. You can catch the last show of the summer on this Saturday, August 20th at Central Park. Bring a lawn chair or blanket for this free, family-friendly event. The show begins at 9 p.m. because, of course, we have to wait for it to get a little dark. And the last film this year is Inside Out, so you might want to bring your tissues. As we start to think about back-to-school preparations, parents should be aware that there is a change in the flu vaccination program offered through a partnership between Mayo Clinic, Olmsted Medical Center, Olmsted County Public Health, and the local school districts. Administration of the flu vaccine this year will be as a shot rather than the nasal mist due to CDC data that showed that the mist was relatively ineffective. Vaccination schedules for the schools are posted online at semnic.org. And I know a couple of kids in my house who are going to be pretty disappointed about that change. After this week's primary election, races are set for the fall. First District Congressman Tim Walz will be facing challenger Jim Hagedorn. In Rochester's Ward 6, Annalisa Johnson and Patrick P.J. Day are advancing to vie for the open city council seat. And for the Rochester Public Schools School Board, Deborah Seelinger and Bobby Gallis will move on to the general election. For those of you watching the Minnesota Supreme Court seat, Natalie Hudson and Michelle McDonald will be on the November ballot. Minnesota's general election is November 8th. Vote early ballots, they used to be called absentee ballots, they will be available beginning September 23rd. Now, stay with us as we join Alicia Somaz at Soldiers Field on Our Town Walkabout.
Welcome to Walkabout. I'm Alicia Somaz here at Soldiers Field Veterans Memorial here with Harry Kerr.
There's a reason that the design we picked for the memorial is a circle. It's because the cost of freedom is never ending. The ultimate cost of freedom is the cost of lives, and that happens every day. Almost every day in America, some family gets the knock at the door, notifying them that their family member that's in the military has either died, been killed in service, died in a training accident or been seriously wounded or injured. Experts at the time that we were doing the research said we needed a wall that would take maybe 300, maybe 400 names of those who died in service to the country from southeast Minnesota. There are almost 4,000 names.
There's 4,000.
And they're all documented that they did die in service to our country from this area.
So there's 4,000 from southeast Minnesota.
50 miles around Rochester.
This came from Rochester citizens, funded by Rochester citizens.
And not one tax
with
penny.
No taxes.
No tax money.
Right.
The pavers,
yeah,
that was an idea by Bob DeWitt. He was one of our committee members. We have them for sale now because we're doing a walkway down to our storage shed, and for $350. So what we have here is the service that they were in: Army, Air Force, Navy, U.S. Marines, Merchant Marines, and then the name, and then either the war or the date that they started their service, if they weren't to a conflict or war. But we need to respect those that do step forward, that 1% that step forward and put on the uniform and take the oath, I swear.
Coming up next, John Reed from the Rochester International Airport is here, and he answers our big question. Stay tuned to find out what that is. Stick around.
Our past, remembering what made us who we are today. Brought to you by the History Center of Olmsted County.
When visiting Oakwood Cemetery, it's difficult to miss the imposing Van Deusen Mausoleum. Commissioned by George W. Van Deusen and completed in 1898, the Greek-styled tomb of Vermont granite, pink jasper, and Italian marble weighs in at 600,000 pounds. Van Deusen began his career as a grain merchant in Wisconsin, making his way to Rochester in 1864, where he opened a dry goods store. He soon made a name for himself, becoming the first president of the Rochester Board of Trade in 1866, and later serving on the city council in 1872 and as mayor in 1873. But he never left the grain business. By building grain elevators in small towns along the railroad, with his success, in 1883, he moved to the Twin Cities to be closer to the milling industry, where he became a significant financial figure. He always considered Rochester his home, however, which is why he made it his final resting place in 1915.
The Rochester International Airport is living up to the vision of the Mayo brothers, providing convenient access for patients and visitors. RST is also important to area businesses as they offer 8 flights daily to Atlanta, Chicago, and Minneapolis. The economic impact on the region is a whopping $161 million in annual output, 2,911 jobs, and $73 million in payroll. With the legislative bonding bill in limbo, it has had an impact on the airport and its plans for U.S. Customs expansion. So here to tell us more is John Reed, Executive Director of the Rochester International Airport. So, welcome, John.
Well, thanks for having me. Great little venue here.
Yeah, thanks for coming down to Forager.
Like being here at Forager and
yeah,
talking about the economics of the community. It's important things.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much. So our big question is, tell us about this customs expansion and what the bonding bill stalled a bit. So what does that mean for Rochester, and what do we need to do?
The good thing here is we've got a great community, and that community, through the city of Rochester has really stepped up. We had some deadlines to meet in regards to capturing federal funding for this project.
Okay.
The city of Rochester, agreed to put up $3.8 million of local monies so that we can get those matching funds. Now, I know that the city of Rochester is going to be working diligently with, our elected officials out of St. Paul to recapture those dollars. I think it just shows that the economic importance of the airport, and specifically the international aspect of what we do, was just that important for the community. We had to move forward.
Okay, but what are these upgrades? What needs to be done?
Yeah, so You know, it's interesting, you know, post September 11th, and we all know what happened then.
Right.
U.S. Customs started upgrading their requirements for operating a port of entry into the United States. Ours was built back in 1995. It's a very small facility right now. It just doesn't meet all their basic needs for space, for safety, for security. Basic things, holding, queuing space, places to hold and store luggage, cargo, frankly, jail cells.
Really?
You know, we hope we don't need to use those, but for the safety of you know, the officers involved, at times you do need things like that. So, you know, we received a letter from U.S. Customs in 2012 that said you need to make the upgrades, and that's where we're working towards, is making those upgrades that are necessary so that we can still welcome over 200 planes, you know, annually, and you know, over 1,300 people annually into our community direct from outside the United States. That alone has just a tremendous economic impact. You know, the average stay in our community by international passengers is roughly, you know, 4 days. The Convention and Visitors Bureau will tell you they spend $625 a day.
Right.
You know, that's between $3 and $3.5 million of annual economic impact to our community alone. That's a lot of jobs.
So, and then, and back just a little bit to the customs though, does this, I mean, you're talking about a lot of additions. Does this mean an expansion?
No, we're going to reuse and repurpose existing space that we have within our terminal. We've got a great terminal. Good solid bones to that terminal. Instead of building a brand new facility, let's utilize what we have. We'll add a few more square feet to it. Customs-based requirement for what we do is 20,000 square feet. So we're going to carve out space within the existing facility, make use of it.
Okay, all right. And then, you know, you're talking a little bit about the economic impact on the city, but the airport itself has a pretty big economic impact. The numbers were, what were they? You have $161 million output, $73 million payroll, and 2,900 plus jobs.
That's a couple of amazing numbers in there, isn't it? Yeah, you know, I think airports are centers for economic prosperity and economic development. Think of the numbers of jobs you just talked about, and even think about that further and the trickling out of those dollars into our community. Those people go to dinners. They buy homes, they bank. They're all kicking those dollars around in our community. You know, $161.5 million of annual economic impact for our airport. That was done in a time when the economy was really down. Those numbers are from 2007, actually.
Okay.
If we do another one here in the immediate future, I bet those numbers go up.
Okay.
Again, you know, a great economic input to the community.
Okay, so now what do you want the community to know about the airport? Because I think there are still a lot of people who are, when they're looking for their tickets to go on vacation or business, they're still looking to flying out of Minneapolis.
Sure.
So, but I know you have a push now for Fly Local. So tell me about that.
Yeah, you know, this is an awareness program. And I think people over the years have gotten so used to not looking at what we have available. And I'm here to say that, you know, I think we're economically competitive. When you look at the whole picture in regards to flights in and out of Rochester. We're out in the community right now. We're asking local businesses to partner with us in a Fly Local program. And what we ask them to do is to take a look at the real cost of flying. And it's not just flying, you know, it's the drive there, it's the parking that's up there. We think we offer a better package. We also ask them to look not only at the dollars, but at the wait times. And we work with them on a policy for their organization that works for both groups, you know, the airport as well as, you know, the business owners, the important part of that. We've got 50 companies in the region and in the area that have signed up. Our goal is 100. You know, we're constantly out looking for other businesses that think the airport is that important to not only their base business, but to the things that they do here in this community. And all those relationships are just as important. I think it's again, a regional economic push, and we're part of that.
So are you seeing also some of these pleasure travelers using the airport here in town more?
We are. You know, we're having regular scheduled charter flights that are going to vacation destinations right now. You know,
You are, like to where?
Yeah, well, once a month we have flights that go to Nevada. Nice big chartered flights that go to Laughlin. We've also recently struck up a partnership in Gulfport, Biloxi. So yeah, you know, about once a month we're having nice charter flights that go out of the area to vacation destinations. So it's not just business travelers that, you know, need to have that focus. Think of us on the pleasure side as well.
So how do people find out about those flights?
You can go to flyrst.com and be the first place to go, or you can give us a call. You know, we're constantly out marketing what's going on with the flights that we have out there. We have great staff that are constantly out talking about that.
Yeah.
So, but your initial place, go to flyrst.com. If you're not finding what you like there, give us a call.
Okay. Now, I know in addition to being the executive director, you're also a part-time model. Is that true?
Well, only for you.
So in the, what is this, the April issue
Yes.
of Rochester Magazine,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Nice looking models and a grumpy old man.
Thank you so much for coming in
No
and
problem.
talking with us
Thanks
today.
for
I
having
really
us.
appreciate it.
Enjoy being here.
All right, well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We will see you right back here next week. In the meantime, send us your favorite picture of Rochester. We will show the best on air. Send that to rochester@ksmq.org. We will see you next time on Our Town, the show about Rochester.